converts beings by means of emanated bodies and avatars. He gives all kinds of pearls and jewels, clothing and food to all. He gives his head, his eyes, his marrow, his skull, his kingdom, his wealth, his wife, his children, his inner and outer possessions unreservedly. Siddhanta Jataka. The Buddha Sakyamuni was once a white elephant with 6 tusks. A hunter who was on the lookout for him shot him with a poisoned arrow. The other elephants ran up with the intention of killing the hunter by trampling him under their feet, but the white elephant pushed them away with his body. He protected this man and had compassion for him as for his own son. After having sent away the herd of elephants by his exhortations, he quietly asked a hunter, "Why did you shoot me with an arrow?" The hunter answered, "I need your tusks." At once the white elephant wedged his tusks into a hole in a rock and broke them off so that the blood and the flesh ran out at the same time. Then he took the tusks in his trunk and gave them to the hunter. Although here it is a matter of an elephant, a thought imposes itself. We should know that this elephant is not an ordinary animal, the existence of which is due to retribution for actions. And as the same greatness of spirit is not found among the arhats, we should know that this elephant is a Dharmakaya bodhisattva. Titirium Brahmacarium 1. There was a time when the men of Jambudvipa were unaware of their respect due to the venerable aged ones. It was impossible to convert them by words. Then the bodhisattva changed himself into a Kia Pincholo bird. This bird had 2 friends, a great elephant and a monkey. They lived together under a pipola tree. One day they wondered, "We do not know who is the oldest of us." The elephant said, "Earlier, when I saw this tree, it came to under my belly, and today it is the size that you see. From that I conclude that I am the oldest." The monkey said, "Once when I was kneeling on the ground, my hand reached the top of this tree. From that I deduce that I am the oldest." The bird said, "In a gig tree forest, one day I was eating a papaya fruit. A seed sprouted from my droppings and that produced the tree that you see. From that I deduce that I am by far the oldest." The bird also said, "The antiquity of my previous births gives me the right of respect." At once the great elephant put the monkey on his back, the bird perched on the monkey and they went to walk about. All the birds and animals, seeing them, asked, "Why are you doing this?" They answered, "This is how we pay respect and homage to the elders." The birds and animals accepted the lesson and began to respect their elders. They stopped invading the fields of the people and destroying the lives of animals. People found it strange that all the birds and animals had stopped doing harm. Having entered the forest, a hunter saw the elephant carrying the monkey who was carrying the bird. He told the country people that the practice of mutual respect had transformed beings and that all of them were busy doing good. The people rejoiced, saying, "Today the great peace begins. The birds and animals are becoming civilized." In turn, the people imitated the animals and all practiced respect toward their elders. From that ancient event until today, the 1,000 lifetimes have elapsed. We should know that this Franklin was the Dharmakaya bodhisattva. Finally, in the space of a moment, the Dharmakaya bodhisattva transforms himself into innumerable bodies and pays homage to the Buddhas of the 10 directions. In one moment, he can create immense riches and give them to beings. In the space of one moment, he can preach the Dharma to all in harmony with high, medium or low tones. And the bodhisattva follows these practices until he sits under the Bodhi tree. It is by means of these kinds of practices that the Dharmakaya bodhisattva practices the perfection of the virtue of generosity. Furthermore, there are 3 kinds of generosity. 1. Material generosity. 2. The generosity of homage and respect. 3. The generosity of the Dharma. What is material generosity? Material generosity consists of giving unreservedly all the inner and outer goods that one possesses, such as precious stones and jewels, clothing, food, head, eyes, marrow and skull. The generosity of respect consists of shows of respect and veneration inspired by pure faith. To accompany someone, to go to meet them, to load them with praise, to pay homage to them and other things of this type. The generosity of the Dharma. Having as object the beauty of the path consists of instructing, teaching, explaining, discoursing, removing hesitations, replying to questions and telling people about the 5 precepts. All these instructions given with the view of Buddhahood are called generosity of the Dharma. The perfection of these 3 kinds of generosity is called the perfection of the virtue of generosity. Furthermore, 3 causes and conditions give rise to generosity. 1. The purity of the mind of faith. 2. The material object. 3. The field of merit. 1a. There are 3 kinds of minds: compassion, respect, and respect joined with compassion. Giving to the poor, to the humble and to animals is a generosity inspired by compassion. To give to the Buddha and bodhisattvas is a generosity inspired by respect. To give to the arhats and pratyekabuddhas, to the elderly, the sick, the poor and the exhausted is a generosity inspired by both respect and compassion. b. The object given is pure when it is neither stolen nor pilfered but given at the proper time, without seeking for renown or gain. c. The greatness of the merit obtained comes either from the mind, or from the field of merit, or from the value of the gift given. It comes first from the mind when, for example, the latter has the fourfold evenness of mind or the meditative stabilization of the recollection of the Buddha. 1. Thus, when the bodhisattva gives his body to the tigress, 1. It is the mind that provides the greatness of his merit. There are 2 kinds of fields of merit. 1. The pitiful field of merit. 2. The venerable field of merit. The pitiful field of merit provokes minds of compassion, whereas the venerable field of merit provokes minds of respect. This was the case for the king Achuki, without care in the language of sin, when he gave to the Buddha the gift of earth. 1. Finally, the greatness of the merit is derived from the object given. Thus, a woman whose wine had disturbed her mind and who heedlessly gave her necklace made of the 7 jewels to the stupa of the Buddha Kasyapa was reborn among the TreatiseGreat gods by virtue of this merit. Gifts of this kind are called material gifts. IV. Non-existence of the thing given. Question. Generosity is the renunciation of wealth. Why then do you say that the perfect gift involves a thing to be abandoned? Answer. 1. There are 2 kinds of generosity, supramundane and that which is not supramundane. Here we are talking about supramundane generosity, which is without marks. Being without marks, it does not involve anything abandoned. This is why we say that perfect generosity does not involve renunciation.